Hi, so in this week's video I'll be doing a range test on the Gtech Escent. Look, what a lovely looking bike. So I'm at Rutland Water in Rutland, which is about 17 miles or 21 miles all the way around. So if you live within an hour or so of Rutland Water and you haven't been for a while, just come. It's absolutely beautiful. I've done this range test on the Sport, and the Sport battery lasted 15 miles. The way I ride is I ride on max, and I generally ride as fast as the battery will take me. So I'm not particularly a leisurely rider. I think if you ride on eco on a Sport, well, I know if you ride on eco on a Sport, you can eke out 30 miles. But I get 15 on the Sport. On the Escent, well, what do we think? This one has got different tyres. It's on the Schwalbe, hang on, Supermoto X. See, I know what I'm talking about. So let me show you these tyres. So these tyres are kind of more range friendly than the original ones that come with the bike. So you can see there that they've got good tread, but they're not knobbly, which is important for range. So as I've mentioned, I'm going to be on max. I'm going to be riding at the max speed as much as I can. I think I'm going to get, I'm predicting 9 miles out of a battery. I've got 2 on the bike there. So I've got a one on the original holder, which is on, and then I've got one in a top peak adjustable water bottle holder, which I'll link to in the description if you want to carry two batteries, which I kind of recommend really. I've also got a third battery in my rucksack just in case, but I don't think I'll need that. Right, let's get cracking and see how we get on. Right, so we're at 5.6 kilometres in. I'll put miles on the screen. I can't do on the road maths. And we're at 60% of the battery. So it's gone down quite a bit, but I kind of feel that's as expected. I'm going to review this bike, but the acceleration on this, it's mental. So on the Sports and the City, the acceleration is fast, and it's kind of manageably fast. This is surprisingly fast. So it's taken me a little while to get used to it. Also, and if you've got an Escent, I'll be keen to know the answer to this question. Do they cut out of 15.5 miles an hour? Because it kind of feels like it's cutting out slightly later than that actually. Maybe closer to 18. Excuse the wind noise. So I can only film on a flat path. Normally I film on one of the trails, but it's a bit risky today. The countryside, absolutely beautiful. You just cannot beat the British countryside. Right, I'm going to crack on, put my foot down, and we'll see how we get on. Right, so we're now 12.4 miles in at 29% battery. So I've made a decision on this ride. I was planning to do the 17-mile version, but I'm having so much fun that I'm going to do the 21-mile version, which involves some steep inclines. I'm pretty sure I will get through to. So I'm going to check the range on the first battery, because I think that's going to be working harder than the second battery, just because of the terrain, and we'll see how we get on. I've seen lots of people out on e-bikes today, and it's such a good way to get people out. I saw a guy in his 80s. He was having the time of his life. One thing I like is, because it hasn't got a mid, and this is all Gtechs, and the batteries look like water bottles. Should have stopped for a family here. Whoops. Ooh, that was close. I didn't see that one. So, it's rear hub driven, and the batteries look like water bottles. People do double take, so I'm bombing along, and I think a lot of people think that I must be exceptionally fit because it just looks like I've got a fancy water bottle or 2 fancy water bottles on the bike, That is a really good thing about the Gtechs. Right, I'm going to crack on and I'll let you know when this battery runs out. Just to give you some idea of the terrain on the middle section, the bit that I don't normally do. This is probably the least of the steep hills, but look at the views. Right, so we're dead. I'm going to take that one off, put that one on. Let's check it. 99% full. Okay, so that's the first battery done. I've just put the second one on. 17.88 kilometers, so that's 11.11 miles. I can do maths when I'm not on the bike and when I just Google it. So that's actually further than I thought. I thought I might get maybe 9, so 11.1 is actually really good. It's 15 on the Sport. I have slightly changed the route, so this bit of terrain here, the bit I'm doing now, is actually quite tough, so that would have put more pressure on the bike. So let's remember that 11.11 miles for the first battery. The second battery is going to have a slightly easier life. So let's see how that one goes. Right, so I've just stopped. We're at 11.82 kilometers on the new battery and it's 22%. So I can't decide if that's about right or a bit less than the other one. The first battery was an original Gtech e-bike battery that came with a bike. The bike's about a year old. The second one is a brand new Gtech e-bike battery. So I guess in theory it should go a bit further, or the same at least, but we'll see by the end. So if you're interested in Gtech bikes or you've got one, then I would encourage you to join the Facebook group. It's a really good group. There's lots of knowledge within the group. It's one of those groups where you can freely ask questions and not get smart ass answers. People will give you a genuine answer. There's a couple of moaners, but that's every group. But on the whole, it's a fantastic group and a fantastic resource if you're a Gtech e-bike owner or thinking of getting one. So before I crack on, I've just had a drink, some Ribena. I'm 46, but I love Ribena. If you haven't done so already, please like this video. It really helps the channel and it really helps spread the word about personal electric vehicles and electric vehicles. If you're not a subscriber, I would also encourage you to subscribe as well. Back on the bike, I've been pushing this bike. So if you're thinking these batteries aren't lasting that long, I've had them on max and I'm really pushing them. So if you were going to ride a Gtech bike and you're going to ride it on eco, you might even be looking at double the range I'm getting on this terrain. But it's important to point out I'm pushing this bike. Right, see you in a little while. So we've had a second bereavement, 10 miles in. So the other one was 11.1 on tougher terrain. This was 10 miles on, so I'd say, moderate terrain. But I'm quite happy. What a place to stop. So that's 21 miles on 2 batteries. Actually, it's the 4th battery failure because my mic battery's run out as well. So this is likely to be very windy and I may have to just talk over it if it's too bad. So the battery's on the second battery, which is brand new, less than 20 miles on that battery. I think that's gone for one of 2 reasons. Either it's not as good, obviously, or secondly, maybe there's a conditioning process with batteries. So maybe if I did it again with this battery, it might be more conditioned. I don't know if there's a selling process. If you know the answer, then just let me know in the comments. So I'm going to go back to the car. I'm on the 3rd battery, and we'll sum up. So I'm back at the car. It was an extra mile, so I could have made it if I'd have been a bit more conservative with the battery. I mean, that is a really good bike. I'm going to review it properly very soon. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a fantastic bike. And I want to just mention again that I was really pushing the bike. So if you're thinking the range on that was shocking, which is perhaps low compared to much more expensive bikes. I mean, most people aren't going to ride like I was riding it, I shouldn't think. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll put some more around me, and I will see you next time.